What? You don't have one? Are you crazy? You have to have one. That's really important. That's right. You need to have a CHO. No, I mean it. You have to have a CHO. That's one of the most important positions in your life and business. Well, I'm playing with you a little bit, but no, that's an important thing. A CHO. That's one of the positions that you as an entrepreneur need to think about as you are putting together your Starship Enterprise, your global venture, your small home business, whatever. That position, the CHO, is vital to your life and business success. And so let's talk a little bit about that today on Jesus Entrepreneur. And you are welcome. You are invited to join us right now. And indeed, those words, you are welcome. You are invited. We're glad to have you here, are kind of setting the theme for our program today. And so we're glad that you've taken some time out of your very, very busy day and evening to perhaps join us for 15 to 20 minutes about some education, some perhaps inspiration, some insight and some instruction that will help us all to go and grow and thrive as Christian entrepreneurs. I want to say a particular word of thanks right now. 501c3 is our formal status. We are a nonprofit 501c3 tax-exempt charity. We call it the Christian Entrepreneur Network, and we just received a major contribution to help us begin this work, and we're so grateful for that. And so she knows who she is, and she's probably listening to it, and we thank you so much for that generous contribution. Now, our mission, as you will see, if you go to tcenglobal.org, tcenglobal.org, and see our hopefully world-class website with all of the videos and stories and animation that are there, we want it to be one of the best. We are an organization committed to educating, helping, supporting, and building a network of resources for those men and women who want to go into the marketplace as followers of the Lord Jesus. They want to be Christian entrepreneurs. They want to build a great life. They want to build a great business. They want to expand their brand. They want to become more like Jesus and live out His life and His work. He was a man or a woman. That's right. He was just like every man or woman in the marketplace who made a living and then made a difference, and we want to follow him in doing just that. So we are doing that, hopefully growing in that, and our beginning is always one of needing your support and your help. Our desire is that we will not always be in a donation status. In fact, we don't want to be in one as a permanent thing at all. What we want to do is that our resources, the things that we offer, the products and services, and we have many of them ready to go, that they will be of value in themselves, and they will bring the resources needed to make this enterprise go and grow. But we do need, and we will have a number of good causes, and the United States government looked over our business model, and they looked it over again, and then they looked it over again, and they asked a lot of questions, and then they said, congratulations, Mr. Houston, you have our blessing to be a public charity, a 501c3, and we will give a tax deduction to the people who contribute to your fine organization and mission. Now, they didn't say that really at the end, but I assume that's what they meant. And so we have that status. If you'd like to donate to us, if you'd like to be a player, a contributor, go to tcenglobal.org, and you can make a contribution there. Or if you'd like to do something a little different or more significant, please contact me at radioedge77@gmail.com, radioedge77@gmail.com. And You can become a player, an advertiser, a buyer, a seller, and if nothing else, those are all good and wonderful things. But if nothing else, we want your story right here on the radio. And that is beginning to happen. A number of you are raising your hands and getting signed up to tell your story on the radio. We hope you'll do just that. CHO. What in the world does that mean? Am I playing with you? Well, maybe a little bit. But we are right up to date. This is the solstice day, the first day of summer, June 21st. Yesterday, June 20th, 2018. Right up to date. The consulting group, Strategy and Business, put out a wonderful little, they call it, I think they simply call it a knowledge magazine. And they had an article entitled Danny Meyer's Recipe for Success, written by Anne Graham. And let me just begin the introduction to you, because I had been thinking about this, and then all of a sudden, this came across the mailbox today. In December 2014, a year shy of its 30th anniversary, and as popular as ever, New York City's Union Square Cafe faced a crippling rent increase. The soaring rents around Union Square Park and the steady revival of the neighborhood over 3 decades are in no small part due to the beloved upscale modern bistro that Danny Meyer opened at 16th and Broadway in 1985. Now, isn't that the deal that we are? You actually make the place better, and because you made the place better, your rents go up. That's what happened. After months of consideration, Sam Lipp, the restaurant's general manager, made the case for simply closing the restaurants. Hey, let's go out with a bang, on top and on our own terms, he suggested to Meyer. Icon restaurants rarely prosper after moving. Within 10 seconds, Meyer shot him down. No, Sam, you're wrong. It's our heart, our soul, our mother yeast. Let's move. Regardless of the economic logic and the fact that Meyer operated a dozen odd other thriving restaurants, closing Union Square Cafe altogether was unthinkable. He told the team to find a more affordable space in the neighborhood, which they did, reopening a few blocks north at 19th and Park Avenue South in late 2016. Putting soul into all of his business decisions, many of which have been similarly counterintuitive, has been Meyer's modus operandi since he first started doing his first restaurant at the age of 27. He says, I've often wondered whether we have made much more money by choosing the right things to say no to. And he noted this in his best-selling management memoir. Now get this title, Setting the Table, The Transforming Power of Hospitality in Business. Now, listen to that again. Setting the Table, The Transforming Power of Hospitality in Business. In growing Union Square Hospitality Group, USHG, into an internationally admired restaurant business, Meyer, along with the people who helped him build the company, has relied as much on his management prowess as an culinary creativity person in order to stand out from the intense competition. As founder and CEO, Meyer has made his concept of enlightened hospitality the animating factor of the operating model and has spurred the rise of an artisanal, soulful, and convivial restaurant empire. Enlightened hospitality drives a virtuous business cycle that revolves around respect, relationships, and revenues. The cycle starts with hiring naturally empathic people whom workplace psychologist Adam Grant calls givers, and continues by investing in their professional and personal growth. Employees share their goodwill with customers, and that positive dynamic drives the repeat business that is so critical to restaurant profitability. He's honest, though. He says hospitality is not our end goal, being essential is. And diners who frequent high-end restaurants have a lot of choices, more than 23,000 according to a scan of the reservation engine OpenTable. In general, repeat business contributes 50% of revenues in the restaurant business. Now, Meyer has opened 18 restaurants and closed only 2. And except for the persistent economic challenges, he's weathered them. Unfortunately, Green River, a critically acclaimed foray into Chicago, closed in January 2018, having made it for only 3 years. Well, that's the first page and a half of the article. Again, I would encourage you to Google it and read it. Danny Meyer's Recipe for Success from the magazine Strategy in Business. And you can radioedge77@gmail.com, radioedge77@gmail.com, and I can give you the link to that, or you will find it, I'm sure, if you look for it there. But here we go. What's that all about? Well, it's all about having a CHO. A CHO. And that's what we're going to talk about right now.
Day by day, day by day, oh dear Lord, 3 things I pray, to see Thee more clearly, love Thee more dearly, follow Thee more nearly, day by day.
And did you get one of the secrets he said? First of all, remember he used the term enlightened hospitality. That was what his business was all about. Well, we need to find out more about that. Now, for a number of years, I have been teaching the idea and suggesting, and I think it was original with me, but that doesn't mean it is. It's just that it came to me and I said it. Maybe I heard it someplace else. Maybe it came from somebody else and I didn't know it. But I said that every business needs a CHO, a Chief Hospitality Officer. A Chief Hospitality Officer. One gentleman who went through a Through the Bible exercise, and I loved it, what he did is every Sunday, this pastor tried to literally explain each book of the Bible in one half-hour sermon. That's right, cover what was the essential message of each book of the Bible, 66 Sundays, and each Sunday he tried to help us understand what the Bible book there was all about. Great exercise. I want to continue and do that before I die too with something else. And the book of 3 John, one of the shortest books in the Bible, when you read it, you wonder quite what was it all about? And his point was very simple. He says 3 John is simply a call to hospitality. That God felt that hospitality was so vital to the Christian God-following life that it deserved at least a little bit of the mention in the Bible book of its own. Well, think about that. St. Paul said, I give thanks upon every remembrance of you. The idea of hospitality is central to the kingdom of God and all that it's about. Treat every person you meet as the most important person in the world. That is a Stan Houston saying, and I didn't make it up myself. I took it from somebody else. But it's a secret to success. Treat every person you meet as the most important person in the world. That's how God treats us, and we are to return the favor to Him in how we treat each other. A business needs to make sure that hospitality is so much a part of who they are and what they do that somebody has full responsibility for making sure that kind of culture exists in the place. I was working with an organization a number of years ago, and they had just moved into a nice new place and space, and they were so happy. They had kind of been they were a good company, good firm, but their old place was really showing its age, and it really was past the stage when it could be reconstructed and remodeled pleasantly. So they went out and they found a new place and space, and they had just started to move into that. It really encouraged them. They were really so happy about it. And I was there helping them kind of put together the First Impression brand, putting some ideas there. And one of the things I really suggested to them is that they give top priority to the place that people were welcomed, how they were greeted. And so the conversation came about the receptionist. That's the old term we use. And I remember telling them the story that Harvey Mackay, the great empire builder, entrepreneur he was an empire of envelopes. That's right. His business was made out of selling envelopes. And he had said that an envelope is an envelope, and his envelope was no different than anybody else's, really, except that he always made sure that the people who came to his office, they were greeted warmly. So he had made sure that he would always hire the receptionist, and he would always hire the salespeople. The person who greets people as they come in, and the person who actually is out there representing his company out there in the marketplace. And they introduced me to a young woman who had been made the receptionist. And it was obvious that she was a natural, and she was really good at this, and she really fit. And people could tell right off the bat that she was going to be a good one. I know she wasn't well educated. She just came out of high school. She was just brand new, starting the business. She's going to learn and be a big help. So she didn't know anything about the business, but she was willing to learn. But she was so good. I told the boss to go out, and this is what he did. He went out and he had the business card people make up a business card just for her. That's right, for her, for the receptionist. And we had a little ceremony. I went up and I gave it back to him and said, hey, we have a little gift for you for your new position. And he opened the box and gave her a business card. And what it said, it had her name, company logo, beautiful business card. And there it said, Chief Hospitality Officer. She was overwhelmed. She could not believe she had a business card. She was a Chief Hospitality Officer. Immediately she picked up the phone and called her mother and said, Mom, my new job, I've got a business card. I'm a Chief Hospitality Officer. And her mother said, what? She said, well, I'll tell you more when I get home, when I know. And of course, we then explained the whole idea and how that she was to give leadership and to help all of you treat every person in the company, every person who was a client or customer or a colleague, as the most important person in the world. Hospitality was central to our business model, and it was her responsibility to help us do it better. She was the CHO. That's my story. Story of Danny Meyer, Union Square Cafe, a little insurance company in Bloomington, Minnesota that had a CHO. And perhaps from these two stories you can learn something vital about what you should do and some changes you should make and some people you might want to employ and hire as you build truly a God-honoring, a Jesus-following enterprise. That's what you need to know. You see, I was right. What? You're crazy if you don't have one. You need to have a CHO. Hey, just a minute or two long today because it'll be 21 minutes. We try and make 20 minutes. Take 20 minutes of your day to learn something about how you can build a better business, how you can bring more people into that business. And today you've learned that you need to give continual attention to the hospitality factor of the business you're building. Make sure it's important and a significant part of what you do. Hey, I can help you do this. 520-664-7002. Give me a call. I'd be glad to come in and help your business set up your hospitality program. I've done it for many businesses, and I can come and do it for you. I'm a coach, and I know how to make those things happen. RadioEdge77@gmail.com is how to reach me. RadioEdge77@gmail.com. Again, go to our station, tcenglobal.org. tcenglobal.org. Treat every person you meet as the most important person in the world. Remember, that's your mission. That's your mandate. That's the motto for your company. And if you do, it will go well with you. I'm Stan Houston. Best in blessings, and that's the story. And bye for now.